You know that old saying, there's no place like home?
I've really missed Arkansas. I have really missed Arkansas.
In our case, that's pretty true.
I may be biased, but we have the softest water. My hands feel like silk right now.
You're not biased, it's a fact.
Is it?
And you want to know the best way to be welcomed home? Is by going on the ultimate Ozark road trip.
It'll probably look like some kind of creature crawling through here.
There are caves here that will blow your mind.
Dude, there's a room back here!
And let's not forget the crown jewel of the Ozarks, the Buffalo National River.
Woo, it's cold! It feels so good to be back in our home state, and we have had an abundance of rain the past 4 days, so we're hoping that there are some waterfalls flowing on a couple of hikes that we're gonna do.
Actually, it hasn't rained the whole entire time we've been gone, I think. It's been a drought, and right when we show back up, it rained the whole time.
But now we've got some beautiful days ahead of us, and we're gonna go explore.
We're at a trailhead, and as you can tell, it doesn't really look like a trailhead, does it? Here in Arkansas, we've got a lot of trails, but some of them don't have heads.
Okay. Anyway, this trail is called the Glory Hole, and it has been 8 years since we have hiked this trail. The very first time that we hiked it was our very first camping trip ever before we were filming. So it has been a very long time, and it is going to be wonderful to revisit it again.
In Arkansas, there are 3 different distinct Ozark regions. There's one more up in Missouri, and I think it's the St. Francis mountain area. Anywho, in Arkansas, we have the Salem Plateau, Springfield Plateau, and the Boston Mountains. Currently, we're in the Boston Mountain region, and this is where the majority of the Ozark National Forest is located, where some of the highest elevation and most dramatic features are found. And I already hear water.
Wow, it smells so good down here. Do you smell that?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Let's
good.
say it's unfortunate that you're sniffing them.
My sniffer was, I think, destroyed as a child. My parents found me eating some Vicks Vapor Rub. I think that's what destroyed it.
Oh, that's what's wrong with
And here it is,
it. So cool.
the mighty Glory Hole. So this is the original waterfall right here. But for some reason, it cut through right here. Kids, don't try this at home. This is not OSHA approved.
If you are able to get here in the winter after we've had a lot of rain, this will be a frozen, just solid frozen waterfall. We have never seen it in person, but I always see people posting pictures of it on Facebook, and it is really cool looking.
And we might not ever see it because we don't like the cold. If it's that cold here, we're going south. We're like ducks, we migrate.
It's in like January, probably in like February is when we get the coldest weather, so it's gonna be around that time that you would see it like that. I may be biased, but we have the softest water. My hands feel like silk right now.
You're not biased, it's a fact.
Is it?
We've got good water here. The grass is extremely green around here. Believe it or not, even though we're from Arkansas, we have done everything in the Boxley Valley, which is part of the Buffalo National River. And we've never done the Lost Valley. We've done the Hawksbill Crag. We have hiked the Goat Trail to the Big Bluff countless times. We kayak camped along the Buffalo River, but we have never hiked this trail. And I'm not sure why.
I don't either. I don't know why we haven't either.
I think because it's always crowded on the weekends.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. We're supposed to be Arkansas, like, know-it-alls,
yeah.
natives.
Know-it-alls.
Well, but we did know about this. We just didn't.
Yeah, we just always skipped it.
I have not seen water this clear in forever. Look at this. It's like a piece of glass. The reason this is so clear is because we're back in Arkansas. That's why. No, in all honesty, it's from the rocks. Well, actually, that's kind of true, too. Yeah, trail goes across. You almost went down there, babe. Your crickets, Kelly. Kelly loves crickets.
This is the Natural Bridge, which is the gateway to Lost Valley.
This used to all be under the ocean, and it was layers. All these layers was the ocean floor. Whenever the Ouachitas were being formed by South America collided into it, the Ouachitas got pushed up, and then the Boston Mountains also got pushed up, and that is why the Boston Mountains are taller than the rest of the Ozarks. Here's the back side of it, Kelly. There is no telling what size cave is right behind that. Feels like a fairy tale. Best way to describe it. All the ferns, the trees, the gold leaves are really standing out here. And that big old bluff wall. Oh. Okay.
Now that was Eden Falls, but up above is the Eden Falls Cave. I think that's the last thing on the trail.
Honey, gotta admit, I've really missed Arkansas.
Oh, no.
I have really missed Arkansas.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, this is gonna be super wet.
Yeah, it's really in like smooth rock here.
Yeah. Oh, babe, it goes way back here. Come on. Okay. Kelly's staying back. And it looks like all the water is coming from back here. Oh, it keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. Oh, it gets tight. Kelly, I'll be right back. It keeps going. I'm gonna go a little bit further. Gotta take my backpack off. It's already scraping the ceiling.
So here it is. This is the source of the water coming from this cave, or this part of the cave. I don't think I can go any further with the water, but it keeps going back here. It is very, very tight. But I hear more water. Y'all hear that? It's getting louder. You might not believe it, but I'm slightly claustrophobic. And right now, it's not bothering me for some reason. Whoa! Yo! There's a cave salamander here. Man, I'm doing some Indiana Jones stuff here. This is my first true splunking experience ever. I guess you could call this splunking. I've never splunked, but there's a waterfall back here and it's big, I can tell. Whoa! Holy crap! Dude, there's a room back here! Waterfall. And the wind's blowing. It's so cold here right now. This might just be the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. So that's probably, it's coming right there. This waterfall is probably maybe 20 foot tall, maybe 25 foot tall in here. The whole entire cave ceiling might be 30 taller. Wow. Howdy. It's big in here. Wow. That is cool. We just couldn't stop moving forward. We're not really equipped for it like we do. Hey, I just heard a sound. I was about to turn around back there. I just kept going. That's really cool. You wouldn't even be able to see when you're looking at it, not that light. That's awesome. Well, then good thing I was back here. Yeah. Cody, by the way. Jordan, nice to meet you, man. Jordan? Yeah, that's awesome. Cody. Annie. Annie, nice to meet you, Annie. Yeah. Good adventuring. Oh, adventuring? I said good adventuring. Oh, this is some of the best adventures. Yeah. I probably look like some kind of creature crawling through here. Like the ring. Am I going the right way? Oh. Howdy, yo. Hands down, probably the coolest thing I've ever done.
We're heading right back to the camp spot that we were at last night, which is just down a Forest Service road in the National Forest. We're hoping that it's still empty. Is it right here? No, I did that last night. That's the ditch. I keep thinking that's the entrance.
Yeah, that ditch does look like a road when you're coming up to it. I think this is it right here.
Yeah, that's it.
And it is
clear.
Clear. It's empty.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Get as close to 0, there it is. Right there.
Yeah, the little leveling gauge on this truck really comes in handy.
That's why we have the jacks, so we'll be able to get the last 0, zeroed. Get the one out of, get the one to become 0.
Since we've been traveling in our truck camper full time, a reliable power station is a vital asset.
And nothing is more reliable than the Bluetti. This is the Bluetti AC200L, and it can provide dependable power for our life on the road. Whether we're camping off grid or exploring remote areas, this power station makes long stays comfortable and self-sufficient.
The main reason that we need a power station is to charge all of our camera gear, and we have a ton of camera gear. We've got drones, we've got GoPros, we have our cell phones that we use, and the extra batteries that come with it. On the face here, you can see that there are 4 110 outlets. And if you notice, they all have covered ports, so that keeps dust, debris, anything out of there. And a lot of power banks don't have that, so I found that really nice. We've got 2 USB-C outlets and 2 USB outlets. And to turn each one of those on, you're going to have to push one of these buttons here. But we're about to plug everything in because we need to charge some stuff. Now, the next thing that we need to keep our content rolling is we need to have our Starlink plugged in. Now, the Starlink is very important for us because we need to upload videos. And when we're out in the middle of nowhere, that is #1 important for us. If you notice this big bad boy right here, surprise, this is a 30 amp. So when we're in a pinch, we can plug our camper into this, and it can actually power an air conditioning if you have an electric stove and a microwave. The Bluetti AC200L has 2,400 watts of AC charging power and can replenish to 80% capacity in just 45 minutes.
And so that you know how big this unit is, I brought my tape measure, and we're looking at 14.5 inches tall by 11 and 16 3/4. It also weighs, I'm gonna take a guess, 61 pounds. I didn't guess, that's actually how much it weighs.
Perfect guess.
In the description below is a code that is only available for the first 100 people that access it. If you've ever thought about getting a portable, eco-friendly power station for your travels, now is the perfect time to grab a Bluetti AC200L.
For dinner tonight, I'm gonna cook a pasta dish with some shells, jumbo shells. We're gonna do mushrooms and a homemade bechamel sauce. And I don't even know if I'm saying bechamel right. I've just said it like that my whole life. I've never heard anybody say it. So let me know. How do you say it? Bechamel? Bechamel? I don't know. So we've got some sliced up mushrooms here, and we're gonna saute those in the pan. Mushrooms are sauteed. We added salt, pepper, and thyme. So we're gonna set those aside for a minute. Let's get ready to make our sauce. We've got butter in the skillet. We're gonna add in some garlic. I've got dried basil, dried oregano. And I'm gonna let the garlic just get toasty a little bit, and then we'll add the next step. Now we're gonna add some flour, and yes, my garlic got a little too toasty, but sometimes that happens. Now we're gonna add in some broth, or you can use white wine, and then equal parts milk. Now we're gonna add some cheese into this sauce. We've got a mozzarella and a Parmesan. And we're just gonna whisk it until it's smooth and melted. We have our mixture here. We're gonna stuff the shells. This is spinach, ricotta, and Gruyere cheese. We're gonna stuff our little shells, and we've got our sauce. We've taken half the sauce out, and we're gonna pour that on top when I get done stuffing the shells, but we left a little bit in the bottom of the pan. Now that our shells are full, we're gonna sprinkle in some mozzarella cheese, cheese sauce going over the mozzarella cheese and the rest of the noodles. And lastly, some Parmesan, or Parmigiano Reggiano, whatever you like to use. And we have our mushrooms that we did at the beginning, and we're gonna just kind of sprinkle those all over. So I'm gonna cover this to bake for the first half, and then we'll uncover it for the second half. Okay. Oh, looks good.
That's gonna be really hot. Do not burn your tongue.
Lots of flavor.
That's good, babe. That's good. Good job.
Today we're going to get the opportunity to float the Buffalo River. We're going to be renting kayaks from the Buffalo Outdoor Center. It has been probably 3 years since we floated the Buffalo, so we're really pumped about it. We were impressed at how much stuff is in here. I mean, if you're going to go camping out here and you run out of something, they have you covered completely. I mean, they even have tents if you forget your tent. And their section of food is pretty impressive. And I'm gonna grab 2 of our favorite electrolyte drinks. All right, we're ready.
All right.
I'm gonna get these 2 drinks here as well.
Okay.
And then 2 sit on top.
I'm gonna guess you guys know where Steel Creek is?
Yeah.
So when you get to Steel Creek, you're going to find our boat crew, big blue trucks, trailers, lots of boats. It's going to be obvious. You're going to hand them that. They're going to hand you your boats. When you're done with the vehicle, you're going to hand them the key with this tag on it. This is going to go on your dash. It's telling the driver where the vehicle's going and what to do with the key once it's there.
Okay.
On the water today, PFDs are a requirement for children 12 and under, otherwise they're only a recommendation. So you guys are doing Steel Creek to Kyle's Landing today. It's about 8 miles. It's going to take you, I think what we've heard being reported is it's about 3.5 to 4 hours with the water being up at like it is.
Perfect.
Any questions?
Nope, that's good.
All right, y'all enjoy your day.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Y'all notice we're taking the truck camper off because they shuttle our vehicle, and this is our house. It makes us a little nervous, someone driving our house around. We're cool with them driving our vehicle, but you know, if they hit a low limb or something and it rips a hole in the top of the camper because it's got a rubber membrane, we might have a leaky roof. So things like that go through our head. I feel more comfortable just taking it off. But there is nothing better than floating the Buffalo River. We're starting this kayaking adventure, and that's exactly what the Buffalo River is, at Steel Creek Landing. And we'll be going 8 miles down to Kyle's Landing to take out, but they already have the kayaks ready for you. You park your vehicle here, they give you a little tag to put on your keys, you hand it to them, and they're gonna drive our truck down to the takeout. So we don't have to worry about, you know, stressing how are we gonna get back up here. Hey brother.
How's it going, man?
So are we ready to do this thing?
Oh yeah, we're ready.
All right. Oh, and on another note, normally this time of year, you don't have the opportunity to float the Buffalo because it's low. They had a major flood here. How many feet of rain did y'all have the other day?
Me? I mean, the river was at like 24 feet.
24 feet.
Yeah.
Above.
Which is above normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy. So if you notice, all the waters, or all the dirt, trees got debris all in it.
Before we even got back to Arkansas, it was completely dry. Like a little bitty trickle, except down the way lower section, but.
So y'all know how to get to Kyle's Landing?
Yep.
I mean, how to identify it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just river right. There's a water level pole about this tall, green, yellow, red. There's a few trees out there, kind of. There's one near Gray Rock that kind of wants to push you to the right side of the river, so just stay right. Other than that, man, it should be pretty chill out there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to see a whole lot of people out there.
Usually in the spring, it's crazy. It's like a party.
Summer,
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, especially on the weekends.
Holiday weekend.
Yes.
All right.
Right on.
Thanks, brother. And honey, what do you want, red or green, blue?
I'll take the red.
You take the red? Okay, I'll get it out there. Okay, that water is cold. That is cold. Ready? And go. There you go. It's a wee bit cold.
Woo, it's cold.
Yeah, look at this boat full of water.
I'm coming right at you.
Oh, getting out of your way. Wow. That just made me, yeah. Warm in the sun, cold in the water.
If you're wondering about temperatures, it is probably the high today 65, but it is brilliantly sunny.
I will have to admit, this might be the very first time I've ever been on the Buffalo and not seen a single other person. It's pretty nice, actually. Y'all see that right there? That is Big Bluff. I'm not sure if it is the tallest bluff between the Appalachians and the Rocky Mountains, or Appalachians, however you want to say it. But it is the most dominant feature along all the Buffalo River, and it's probably one of the most popular pictures besides Hawksbill Crag. And if you look right up there, there's actually a hiking trail that goes there. The trail starts way over by Ponca, or up the mountain by Ponca, and it's called the Goat Trail. And Kelly and her brother and I did that last year. That view from up there is well worth it. I don't blame you. This is a pretty awesome river. Matter of fact, it's America's very first national river, established in 1972. And the reason it was established is they wanted to dam this whole entire area. To protect it from being dammed, they made it into the national park. Sorry, national river. It's managed by the National Park Service. And it free flows for 135 miles. It is one of the last free-flowing, non-dammed rivers in the lower 48. But I'll tell you one thing, that water is cold. Babe, look at my butt.
Guess we should have just wore a bathing suit regardless, huh?
Yeah, it should have been bathing suit day regardless. And because of that flood, this river has changed a lot. If you look right behind me there, all that debris is from the flood the other day. River's changed, the rocks have moved around. We could have gone that way, but a tree's blocking the river back there. There you go, honey. You ready? So dead ahead of us is one of the main things we were wanting to try to get to today. There's usually a sign for this feature, but because of the flood, the sign is gone. Good Lord, look at that. Water went all the way up there to the top of the trees where it's red. Kelly, that's how tall the water went. That's scary. That is scary. We're here.
Right off the Buffalo River is a 210-foot tall waterfall called Hemden Hollow. Now, this is the tallest waterfall from the Appalachian Mountains all the way to the Rockies. And we got to find the trail since everything's been moved around.
Oh, here's the trail.
And this hike is about 1 mile in and 1 mile out, I believe. It could be a little less.
And if you want to see these falls but not want to float the river, there is a trail that starts from the top, but you have to descend about 1,600 feet to get down here. This hike is probably one of the 2 most common ones that the National Park Service has a search and rescue for. But I don't think they ever have an issue with people hiking from the river up. It's always from the top down. The few times Kelly and I have hiked this, it's always been kind of a little after a good rainstorm, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And it's been a trickle, so hopefully there's more water on this than normal. Oh, Kelly, there it is. We're coming up to it.
Water.
Oh, it's barely trickling again.
Oh, my goodness. When do you have to be here for to see it?
I guess you gotta come right after a flood. Got it?
Mm-hmm. Still pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, it still is very impressive. I just really wish just once in my life I could see this thing when it's just raging.
No.
It's moving. Oh, is it the wind? We're coming to a spot right now where our friend Mark, Kelly, and I camped at. Honey, that's it right there. Yeah, we kayak camped right here. Oh, this was an awesome spot. Awesome spot. But we camped right in this area. Yeah, it is a lot smaller. We had this beautiful little feature here. Honey, that was one of the greatest moments of my life.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
That was a great time. Oh, it's gonna be cold. Well, yeah, looks like we have reached the end of our little float today. Total 8 miles right here at Kyle's Landing.
This is a great day float, and if you want to rent kayaks or canoes from Buffalo Outdoor Center, we're going to list their website in the description below. Now I think we're going to go to dinner in a little town called Jasper. Y'all take wherever y'all want.
Oh, okay, thank you. I like this old newspaper stuff. Let's see here. Whoa. I didn't know that they were going to have a steak. This is exactly what I need after that paddle.
I need a burger.
Yeah, I wore out. That 8 miles got me today with the hikes we did yesterday.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Was it good?
Last night we decided to sleep in the Alum Cove natural area parking lot, And the last time we were here, this was not paved. So we were really impressed when we got here and saw a paved road and a paved parking lot. And it's not that far from Jasper. So, you know, we ate in Jasper last night. So it was probably maybe a 10-minute drive, if that. And it is in the National Forest. The reason we wanted to sleep here is because we're gonna hike this trail this morning. This is a very cool, easy trail, and there's a lot of natural rock features that we're gonna check out that are actually really impressive.
And it was so quiet sleeping here last night.
As quiet as you hear it right now, that's how it was last night.
Except for the squirrels. We didn't have squirrels last night.
Yeah.
That's peaceful. So this is the Alum Cove in the Ozark National Forest, like Kelly said, and the main feature we want to see is this natural bridge. And there are some caves that have been, that Native American artifacts have been found in here. This might not look like much to y'all, but this is the top of the natural bridge. Looks just like a concrete pathway, and this is not concrete, this is rock. And this is a part of the natural bridge from above. This is more of a lollipop trail because we came down from up there, and we'll do a big loop all the way around and back. At the very end, we'll see the bottom side of this. This is one of the first shelters used by the Quapaw Indians, I think, during hunting season, or when they went on hunting trips. I don't know if they really had a hunting season. They would come in these areas and shelter on those trips.
Wow, this is nice. Flat. Well, flattish.
This is an example right there of how the natural bridges are formed. This will stay here, and ice and rain will continue to erode, crack. Rocks will crumble, fall down to the bottom. And then one day this will be sitting out here by itself. Oh, that's where we were a minute ago. No, it's not the natural bridge, not the big one. It's more of, it's not really a bridge yet, because it doesn't connect to anything on the other side. Man, it smells good.
That's huge.
This is the impressive cave for a shelter, rock house.
Wow.
You could sleep up under there too if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was like a bad cold storm, the fire right there.
This would be a perfect location for the hunting tribe, or the hunters on their trip to stay in.
Yeah.
And they found a lot of soot from fires actually being in here prior to campers doing it nowadays. And the smoke barreled out to the top. If you're like me, you're probably wondering, where did the name Ozarks come from? That's a question I asked quite often, and then I kind of got a good answer to it. Back in the 1600s, the French controlled this territory, and they had a trading post on the Arkansas River, and it was the closest bend to the Ozarks. Then whenever the Americans acquired this territory through the Louisiana Purchase, they changed the spelling to O-Z-A-R-K. But that's the only true facts we know. The actual meaning of the word Ozark is still a theory. We know it has something to do with a bow. So one theory is that on the Arkansas River, where the trading post was the closest bend to this mountainous region. The other theory is that the Quapaw Native Americans that lived here, the French called them the bow people because of their long bows. The last theory is probably my favorite theory, was that it was named after all the natural bridges that look like bows, just like this giant natural bridge behind us. And that is what we were standing on earlier when we walked across.
This bridge is 130 feet long and 20 feet wide. That is pretty big for here in Arkansas.
I think we have some larger ones somewhere on private property, but this is one of the big ones out in the national forest.
And you can see the railing from the bridge up there.
They did say that settlers during rainy weather or rainy times when this was just raging with water would use this as a bridge. Where they were going, I don't know, because there's not a road there now, and to get down to that point, it's kind of steep. I would have just stayed up at the top.
Yeah, well, we don't know what they were doing. Our next stop is about 2 hours from here. We're leaving the Boston Mountain region of the Ozarks, and we're going to be heading to the Springfield Plateau. The region of the Springfield Plateau that we're in is Big Flat, and located in Big Flat is a really good microbrewery that we haven't visited in a while either, and we're so glad to be back. Hi, y'all. Hello.
Hey. These 8 ounce. Yeah, 16.
Okay. I'm a slow drinker, so
I'm a fast drinker.
It'll get hot if we go sit outside.
Y'all want to run a tab?
Sure.
I just need your name and I already got it.
Oh, cool. Do you need a card?
No.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Can we go this way?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is nice. This wasn't closed in last time.
Yeah, so they, of course, updated a couple things.
It has been a little bit since we were last year.
Right.
How are you doing? Huh? Look like a good one. Yes, you do. What are you doing? I'm not an interesting person. Kellie has officially taken off the shoes and is sitting in the grass. There are picnic tables, there are chairs, but sometimes it's just not. It's real close to my beer. It's kind of nasty. Ugh.
I just thought I'd make myself at home.
However, this is not the only thing we have planned for today, even though it did take 2 hours to get here.
I'm just enjoying the sun right now. It is actually a pretty cool day. We thought it was going to warm up, but it's like 60 something.
I'm really glad that we did the Buffalo River yesterday.
Because it would have not been.
It's a little bit chillier today.
We're camping tonight at the Gunner Pool Recreational Area. Now, we did have a primitive camping spot here, but we just tried to back into it and it is so unlevel. It was a show, so we didn't even film it.
Hey, it's really good for our tent. Actually, it wasn't even good for the tent.
No, it's very unlevel. It's not in the campground area. You go more up the mountain and it's up there.
Up there.
But this is a campground and it's $10 a night. Primitive camping, first come, first serve. A lot of tent campers come here. If you have a van or a truck camper like this, it's very easy access and flat, I might say. But since we're here, we've paid for a camp spot and we're at number 18. So this is a pretty private spot. We got a corner lot here and this is our only neighbor. The road continues that way. But we're gonna go on a short little hike. This is down the Sylamore Creek. This is a very beautiful creek, especially in the spring. Since we had a ton of rain like we talked about, there's plenty of water in it now. In the summer, it gets a little dry. It is rain dependent as well, but we haven't seen it in years, just like this entire trip. I feel like we haven't done any of this in years and we're just really happy to be able to hike this trail again.
And this creek is hands down one of my favorite in the state. The water, when you see it in a second, blow your mind. It is crystal clear. Crystal.
Bridge was commissioned in 1931.
Did y'all hear that bird? That is one of my favorite birds, the kingfisher.
Kingfisher. Look how clear that water is.
Look at that. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Now we have kayaked this creek, but the chances of being able to kayak it are very difficult. There's no outfitters that you can rent kayaks from because it's all rain dependent. And when I mean rain dependent, I mean within 24 hours of a big rainfall. And we've only been able to hit it once.
I think we still dragged that day, didn't we, a little bit?
We did. And
it was gorgeous.
Oh, waterfalls
tropical.
coming down, tropical looking tree leaves everywhere. Can't beat it.
Gorge. Yeah, look how blue it is. Look how blue it is.
Very tropical in the summer, y'all. Very tropical.
I do have to touch the water. It's really cold. Like if it was a hot day, it wouldn't be that bad.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's clear. Gorgeous.
This is one of my favorite places on earth.
This is our last day in the Ozarks. We've already left the Gunner Pool campground, and right down the road is a living cave called Blanchard Springs Caverns.
It's probably one of the coolest caves we've ever visited in our lives.
All right, go right in there. Christy will be there in just a minute. Just the two of you?
Yeah.
Right in there.
All right,
Christy
thank you.
will be with you.
About to load onto the elevators to take us to the trail, but it is going to be 58 degrees in there the entire time. The cave has to stay that temperature.
And it's currently 40 something outside. So
And
it's actually warmer.
there, it was feeling really good. Now it's about to get cold again.
Y'all ready to get to the cave? My name is Christy. I'm going to be leading you through this beautiful cavern today. So usually we do an hour tour instead of being picked up at the end by bus. We're going to come all the way back through. So it is going to be about a mile, and it's going to be about an hour and a half. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone knows you're going to be in the cave a little bit longer today. Well, with this round trip today, you're definitely going to see something new. You're going to get a different perspective of the rooms, get a different perspective of the formations. We're even going to take some different trails today that you probably never have taken before. So y'all, this is the cathedral room. Now the reason why it's called the cathedral room is because it's massive, it's beautiful, but it also has an arched ceiling above your head where it's naturally stabilized itself, they think, for 50 million years. So they think 50 million years ago, this was carved out by water. So that formation right there is called a 7-story building. Okay, these things are massive. We're in a big room. So this flowstone right here, that is 55 feet tall. 55 feet. It's a 5-story building. So as you make your way down, you're going to notice a blue light off to your left, right below these draperies. This is how this room was discovered in 1963. So any blue light you see is a passageway that could go into another room. This was the only way to get into this upper level of the cavern before 1966, before we started building our man-made exit that's at the end of the tour. Through this passageway, they had to climb a 100-foot clay wall. They had to crawl another 50 feet, and they popped their heads out in 1963. It took them over 27 attempts over a 2-year span. That we know of, they were the first humans to ever set eyes on this upper level of the cave. The lower parts have been known about for over 1,000 years, and we know that because we found torches on that middle level, that living room and basement level of the cave, and those dated back to over 1,000 years ago. Now right over here is the dripstone. This is what the tour is named after. The reason why this spot is so famous is because it gets a drop of water to it every single day, every minute of every single day. It doesn't matter. We can have the most major drought and there's still drops of water coming here. We get hundreds, if not thousands, of square miles of watershed into the cave. Us tour guides don't watch the growth of these formations. We've been given tours here for 51 years and not seen any changes in these formations. They say it takes a square inch every 100 years to grow. Now that's in a lab setting, so it can vary in the cave. But 51 years and not seeing any change. They think that giant column could be 2 million years old. We don't really know that, but it is an estimation. What we can watch as tour guides is how long it takes rainwater to enter the cavern. Sometimes a single drop of water can take 30 minutes after a good rain. Sometimes it can take a single drop of water months, if not years, to make its way into the cavern. Right now, we could be getting snow melt from last December, which I think is pretty amazing. Now, sometimes we have Ozark blind salamanders that hang out in the pools. They're not always here, but I do look for them. This is the king of the cave. Right now, he's a juvenile. He's only about 3 inches long, okay? They will get up to 6 to 8 inches. They are born with eyesight and they adjust to the complete darkness. By the time they're a full adult, they'll be completely blind. They don't need it in complete darkness. But this is the king of the cave, so I want you to think about that. If he's the top predator, think about how small all our species get in the cave. And we do have a Blanchard Springs Caverns spider that only gets as big as a grain of salt. And it's pure white and totally blind. It's pretty amazing.
How many species again did you say that y'all had down here?
123. And 20 of them was discovered in the last 9 years.
And some of them are only found here, nowhere else in the world?
Yes, that Blanchard Springs Caverns spider you can't find anywhere else. We have a zombie mold, or zombie slime mold, that actually takes over other fungus in the cave, and it turns it into itself, so that's why we call it a zombie mold. So this wall that we're walking beside to your left, this is a continuous formation throughout this room for over 1,000 feet. That's actually one of the most decorative walls in a cavern in the USA, if not in the world, that the public can see. So take in that beauty as we're going through. There's the giant column all lit up, 70 feet tall, 40 feet wide. A little girl told me it looked like Little Mermaid's castle, so that's what I see every time now. You can use your imagination down here if you want. Kind of like cloud watching. We're going to take this man-made tunnel. This is also where we're going to do this complete darkness, okay, too. But we'll have to get to the other end so we don't see the lights down here, so we can really experience it. But I also want to show you all the camera.
I feel like we're going into some kind of military bunker right now. Or even the Bat Cave.
Or that winery cellar in Fredericksburg.
Or the
I don't know if you guys can see that, but that black mass is bat poop.
Oh, there's another one right there.
Yeah, there's one that's like, there's one there and there's one back here that's like 20 feet tall or something.
So here's that big old pile of guano. Oh my God. Almost 1,000 years old on the bottom. And it looks like dirt because it is wonderful fertilizer, y'all. This is actually what brought us out of the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression. This is how we brought our land back. We went into caves, used the guano to bring our land back. By the way, this is the beginning of the ecosystem in the cave. We wouldn't have 123 species if it wasn't for this guano. On fresh guano, there's a white cotton candy fungus that grows. The microorganisms eat that, the insects eat them, and the king of our cave is that 6-inch salamander. So the bats are not part of the ecosystem here, but their guano is.
How does it not have smell?
It's old. You'd smell it on the Discovery Tour, I promise. Oh. Yeah, you're not going to smell that because it's old. So y'all know what a Bigfoot is? Right up here's his face. Here's part of his arm here, part of his body, another arm, his big belly button, but if you come down, you see his big foot. There's his little toes and his big toe. So right there is our cave yeti. I got my new parachute. straw room. And if y'all would like a picture, like I said, I will take it for you. This is a really good spot, really beautiful background.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Back in the 70s, they called this the garden, which I actually kind of like that better than the soap straw room.
I forgot what show it's from, but it's got that snail shell tower. I forgot what it's from.
Still cold out.
It's cold, but the sun finally came out.
Yay! That tour is very unique and so interesting. I think every time we come, I still find it captivating, everything about that.
And there is no way, I already know it, that this video is going to be able to give it justice of just how big that room is.
You'll have to come see it for yourself. I promise you will not be disappointed.
Now down the road in the same rec area, there is the spring, the spring, which
The spring.
yeah, the
Blanchard
spring, the Blanchard Spring, which the whole entire area is named after, and it is the spring that has caused the formation of this cave. So you've always got to go see that before you leave.
And it flows into the Sylamore Creek, which we saw yesterday. And that creek is rain dependent when it comes to kayaking, but there is a spring that goes through there. So it always has water all year long. It's just not a very high level of water.
It is turning out to be a beautiful day. And that water source is what caused the formation of the Blanchard Springs Caverns.
We really hope y'all have enjoyed this just as much as we have. Like, it's been awesome to come back to our home state and revisit things that we haven't seen in like 5+ years.
Oh, we'll catch you on the other.
Bye.